you doing? How you doing?
Yo,
Come on.
Thanks for doing this, eh?
Here is wherever I tap, you tap.
Got it.
Takes everybody. This is option pack.
Hey.
Yes. She's our manager of veg services. So we're gonna join her in there in a second. Right there, what you'll see is the two most important bottles in this building, and that is bleach. And it's very important. We don't irradiate our weed. And like 80+% of all weed in this country is irradiated. And that means prior to being hit with different types of radiation or other types of stuff, the cannabis is not fit, according to Health Canada, for human consumption. Our products will never be irradiated, and it starts with cleaning. Let's go, and we go. We just start off. All right, we want to have our humidity for the nursery between, let's say, 69 and 72. The HVAC came on to cool the room. It will blow it out of spec for a little bit. And then once it gets back into spec, we see our vapor pressure deficit back in that 1 range, which is where we like it. Expel the moisture. If it's too wet, the leaf can't take in the moisture, that type of vibe, or the reverse. Both are problematic. And what we want to do is we want to have a healthy photosynthesis process. And that's why we like our VPD between 1 and 2. This is our top shot of pheno. We are also pheno hunting now and we're also sending out for tissue culture because we're the only LP right now offering that cultivar. But in addition, that is my original cultivar. So it's about 12 years old. The Kronic difference is in our pheno hunt. That's very important. A lot of people, this is pink kush, but then you smoke it and it's crap because it was a shitty pheno, right? Perfect growing conditions, perfect lighting conditions, perfect humidity, perfect grow, perfect feed, but the weed still sucks because it was a weak pheno. And that's why it takes 18 months to 2 years for any strain to crack this lineup. So as much as I love other opportunities at Super Silver Haze, I think we have over 15 different versions of that cultivar. I've still yet to find one that is as good as our original.
Yeah.
And that's why I continue to defend it, protect it, covet it, care for it. And I hope to have it for as long as I'm in business. Pre-veg. So we either go from here straight into the flower room, or we go from here to a second stage of veg. And the reason why that happens is because Super Silver Haze is high demand. Chocolate is lower demand because it's just for the pre-roll. But if they're both ready at the same time and the chocolate isn't needed right away, I'll send the chocolate to veg and I'll send this gorilla breath like here straight into the flower room. Like a lot of times people talk, but they're not able to back up their talk.
Yeah.
Okay? So what's really important to note is that when we say we've got a lot of moms, in here we've got I Tell Vibes. That's Ziggy Marley's strain, grown specifically for him. Blackberry Cake, Super Lemon Haze, Candyland, Purple Alaska, Cinderella 99, Green Crack, and then God's Green Crack is also in here. Purple Death Bubba, Bubba 2.0, Bubblegum. This pheno of Bubblegum is Marshawn Lynch's.
Oh, wow.
Customized strain specifically for the beast mode. Pink Panther, Pink Champagne, Pink Hindu, Pink Jade. We have more pinks at Kronic than most LPs have strains. We have over 24 strains of Pink Kush, and we have at least 8 strains of pink running at any time. We've got gelato in room right now for that guy who wrote to us on LinkedIn, one of our first authentic blunt buyers. He just kept making videos and raving about how he loved it. And then he said he loves the gelato strain, and he says he thinks that that would be perfect in the blunt. And I said, bet. Is that what the young people say? Don't they say bet? Yeah, I said bet. And I said, all right, Doc. And we're on course to have the December edition of the Authentic Blunt to have the gelato in it.
Nice.
Look, as a friendly thing, they are legends. Lot 33, I rate them dudes,
Right.
talented brethren, but I would love to take my gelato and do a gelato off one day, head to head.
Let's get it.
Let's go after
Let's
it.
go.
Because I rate them, mans, and I like to see how we stack up.
Gelato 33, lot 420.
Gelato 33, lot 420. Excuse me. I have to apologize. Like Benifer, I kind of just put the string of them together. They've been together so long. They're like one entity now. So I got Blackwater Kush, Guava, Biscotti Cake, Chocolo, Black Ice, Akon. Shout out to Won't Let Me Out. And okay, we have 2 phenos of our kosher Kush. And then Dank Bananas, Biscotti Milkshake, Biscotti Cake, Grape Kush, Candyland Cookies and Cream, Dank Bananas, Orange Sherbet, Runts Muffin, Dynachem. That was our first drop in our President's Cut. La Hefa, Green Cookies, Girl Scout Cookies, Island Pink, Sunday Driver. You know how it is.
Receipts. My guy got receipts.
We have them up here. But we also have a Seedman, 30-1. There's stuff up here that's just not listed. A Seedman 30-1 CBD strain. Stunning, beautiful how it takes up the canopy. It's just there's not a market for CBD strains right now.
Yeah.
So I don't grow it. But one of my favorite cultivars of all time. Now we got some silvers over here, some Black Ice, and some Cinderella 99. Okay, but anyway, if you look at the C99, you can see, like, look at just very different leaf pattern. I can spot Cindy anywhere. Now remember, she's not allowed to be called Cinderella 99, so we have to call her C99, because we don't want Disney and people coming after us, you know what I'm saying? Even though Walter probably was a smoker, you know what I'm saying? It's always nice to yardify the place. So we're gonna have Dr. Wallace come down. This is our riverless system. And the man with the plan who generally does the programming for us on a day-to-day basis, I'm gonna get him to explain what he does on the riverless system.
The system was designed in Israel and it was designed specifically for this facility. So it's customized to optimize our growth, right? So in a river system, we're able to control our ratios of our nutrients of what we give to our plants, when we give to our plants, and how we give it to our plants. The system allows us to have 8 different tanks, and each tank will have something different. An example, a tank will have our nitrogen source, another tank will have our phosphorus source, another tank will have our calcium source, etc. Of course, it depends on which brand of feed we go with as well. Here at Kronic Relief, we use Athena as our main source of feed, and we have our supplementaries from General Hydroponics, and you can see some of them here: Liquid Cool Bloom, CalMag, etc. And Silica for our silicon base. At this Riverbus machine, we're able to monitor our EC, which is electrical conductivity, which basically, in essence, kind of how much feed you give the plant at what concentration. That's what it kind of monitors. And it's very important because different stages of the plant requires different nutrients and different customized nutrients for different stages of development. So we can monitor also the EC and the pH. pH is very important because pH kind of controls basically how the plants absorb the same nutrients that we're giving to them. So that's also important. And here we can adjust the EC, we can adjust the pH, and we can monitor how each room gets the nutrients, when it gets the nutrients, and how much of the nutrients it gets.
Pick up.
All right.
As an old legacy dog, this thing gives me hand watering flexibility with machine watering accuracy.
Yeah.
This facility was built by a grower, built for growers, designed to grow cannabis. This whole flower hallway is where the lighting style switches. Okay, so we go from 18 hours of light, 6 hours of darkness, which is basically the childhood of the plant. And then we go into adulthood, which is 12 hours of light, 12 hours of darkness, move day. So these plants are just being brought in. So if you look at the difference of the light, you see how it's a lot warmer, yellower? We're going from that late spring to early summer, midsummer light. Once the plants settle in here, we're gonna turn the temperature up and give it that summer starting warmth. If you look over here, this is Super Silver Haze. And if you look over here, this is our Pink Panther. So, and these are a few weeks into the process. Now, if you notice, we're very big on leafing. We don't leave a lot of undergrowth.
I see.
We want to keep the plants open. We focus specifically on growing top nugs, and having the plants open like this reduces the chance of pestilence, bacteria, and mold from the center all the way out. That lets you know that this is going to be a very frosty, sticky, icky, ooey gooey, danky butt. Now, let's give that a scent. This is pretty early, but at the same point in time, you can start to get that pungent nose. Now, this is the best sativa in the game, our Super Silver Haze. But as you see, the bud size is getting larger. Again, if you look close, you can see crystals all over the leaves. And now look at this though.
Super sticky.
You can actually see the stick and the ick. It's just wonderful. We're gonna end the right way. Ooh.
So this is like near the final
Yeah.
stage, right?
Yeah. So a lot of people want to know, do we actually do an ice water flush? Is it really ice water? Well, there's the ice and there's the water. And we get that temperature nice and cold. Here, and I'll show you our kosher.
That's the work.
This and my Super Silver Haze are my two favorite cultivars of all time. What we have right here is we've got the 1.5 gram diamond infused authentic slim. All of these blunts are rolled by hand. Been very popular. So proud of this. What makes it special is it took me 2.5 years to find it, but we got the authentic blunt leaf terpene. Right now, we're working on Super Silver pre-rolls. Very popular all over the country. So this is real artisan work.
Yeah.
Wow. This is not a machine, these are hand twisted.
Jeez.
And then they cut them off the stems so that we want everyone to have a real pre-roll feel.
Good.
So this is our Gorilla Breath, right? And so I wanted to show you the crystals. So beautiful,
nice.
beautiful buds. But the second part about it is, I want you to feel how dense these nugs are. These are not fluffy nugs. The Super Silver Hazes that are going out right now in those pre-rolls, and the 14 grams that are going out right now, you're looking at a September 10th
Okay.
harvest date.
Oh, wow. That's as fresh as it gets.
Right, so we're not sending you 2-year-old weed, right? This is 15, okay? So we're hearing it, we're burping it, we're whatever. By the time this is packaged and it goes out the door, You're not going to have 2-year-old weed. Like when we say our package date, that's our harvest date,
Nice.
okay?
Nice.
But there's people who their package date and the weed is older than you.
Right.
And that's a loophole in the system that consumers need to worry about and understand. Now, right here, this is what I want people to understand. Look at the package date of our premium milled sativa, our after hours brand, September 24th. You're gonna see PMS 004 in October. So our discount brand
Right.
is premium.
Nice.
So yes, it's not as expensive, but it's not any lower in quality. But it's still hand sifted, hand trimmed, hand dried premium cannabis in our after hours brand. Non irradiated, no bullshit.
Wow.
This is what 1,800 different cultivars looks like.
Oh, wow.
So many different things, so many different cultivars, land race strains, unbelievable land race strains. I've got an Alaskan land race strain,
Wow.
native North American, First Nations people that have a cut, and it's an Alaskan purple land race. Crazy. Just so many different things in this bag of tricks. Well, my friends, the time has come
Thank you, man.
to say farewell.
Awesome. That was amazing.
Yes. So thank you so much.
That was like a great tour. Appreciate your time. So yeah, we're just trying to give some value to our audience, to our customers, let them know what's good, and what Kronic's all about. So, I mean, tell us about your journey. Like, what industry were you in before this? Was this your first business? What got you into the game?
I was a stockbroker for almost 20 years, portfolio manager in financial services, banker, then stockbroker, always money manager, certified financial planner, had my Canadian investment manager's designation. I was fellow of the Canadian Securities Institute, just in all things financial.
Yeah.
Around 40 years old, I wanted to make a change. I love all my clients and my business, but I sold it. And it was kind of like, I don't know how to say it, but it was like a soulless business. Imagine being 30 years old, working half the hours I work right now, and my blood pressure was upper normal. I was like, they're like, maybe you should consider some blood pressure medicine. 21 years later, 51 years old, I just did my blood test at 113/80. I work 7 days a week. I work 14, 16, 20 hours a day. I love what I do. When I was an advisor, I loved my client. I loved the people, and I learned so much from them. But I didn't love the business. I didn't like how it was. The first job is to make money for the firm. Second job is to make money for yourself. And then the third job is to make money for your client. And I was always in conflict. People will raise their hands and say it's different, but if you catch them behind the scenes, they'll tell you the truth. I love the people, I just didn't love the business. It was eating my soul type of thing.
Yeah.
So anyway, I was like looking like, what do I want to do when I grow up? And the thing is when you're a stockbroker, portfolio manager, you're entrepreneurial, but you're not an entrepreneur. It's a very big distinction, because it's someone's responsibility to pay the lease. It's someone's responsibility to, hire almost all the staff. Someone's responsibility to make sure that the paper is in the photocopier. Someone buys a photocopier. Someone picks the colors of the firm. Someone picks the logo. So all of this sort of stuff. And then you come in and you plug into a pre-existing system, and then you run your business. Yes, it's entrepreneurial, but you are by no means an entrepreneur. That was a big change.
Nice.
I definitely had the skill set, but I was by no means prepared. It's like growing up. It's like getting married, becoming a dad. Like, you can read about it, you can watch videos on it, you can even take a course, but
Yeah.
until you do it, it's that first moment where you're sitting there and going, okay, we got no toilet paper.
Sure.
Who's responsible for the toilet paper? And then you realize, I'm responsible for the toilet paper. If there's going to be toilet paper here, either I buy it or I've got to hire someone and make it their responsibility. But if I do that, I have to pay them.
That's it.
And that was a mind shift for me. That was something that just didn't happen overnight.
Right.
I wish I could say I knew shit about weed, but I didn't know anything about it.
Mm.
I was asked to raise some money for the MMAR grow, because I was sold the idea that these medical licenses were going to be a precursor to the commercial LP system. And that the best thing to do is get one of these licenses, and they will recognize you. And I talked to some of the top lawyers, legendary John Conroy and some other lawyers that they named weed strains after, who said this is a potential. They didn't guarantee anything. They just said, hey, weed is legal for medical purposes, and it will become an industry. We just don't know when, and so on and so forth. But when I started my grow always with the intention of being a commercial grower. I wanted to be a legal system, Canadian licensed LP. That's what I wanted. That was my goal. So everything I did in Legacy was with that in mind. So my team is ostensibly my original team with additions. So, operations and commercial is a beast. So we had to get an operations specialist. You met Kenroy. He's a biochemist.
Yeah.
Like, he's a PhD, right? I don't fuck around. So with my legacy knowledge, but now we have the chemistry, not anecdotal science, but an actual scientist on staff. So I'm not one of those my way or the highway guys. I'm a how do I get the best product to the Canadian consumer? So we've augmented our legacy team. But the reason why we're like this, like a machine, is because my team is intact. And pound for pound, we're like this.
Yep. So what's one piece of advice you'd give someone who's looking to enter the cannabis space, enter this industry, based on what you've had to go through and endure as an entrepreneur, as someone who's taking your business by the horns? What's one piece of advice you'd give to somebody?
If you were going to say come into retail cannabis, unless your family is in the top 1% of Canadian wealth, I would advise to become a franchise owner. Join a really successful existing organization and purchase your franchise and get as many of those franchises as you can over time. Be the best that you can be. Customize your experience, tailor it to customers, put the customer first, have creative menus, as creative as you'd be allowed to. But I wouldn't try to go head to head with corporate Canada at this point in time.
Right.
I just don't think that's a formula for long-term success. If you are a talented grower, I would tell you to try and get hired by a Canopy, get hired by a Kronic, get hired by an existing company, learn the ins and outs of commercial cannabis. Quality assurance is a business in and of itself.
Yeah.
Operations, like someone has to know how to get the weed from the building to the provincial bodies.
Yeah.
That alone is such a mind fuck. Like it's crazy. And like one digit on a 36 number barcode that's off, and they're rejecting your entire pallet. And that pallet
Wow.
rejection can end your business right
Wow.
there.
Wow. That's great advice. I mean, so I know before this you were in the financial industry.
Yes.
What is what's the best piece of financial advice that you've ever been given? And how has that kind of helped you in navigating being an entrepreneur and starting Kronic?
So one of the things that I learned serving entrepreneur after entrepreneur is that there's no substitute for hard work. Like, look, you can be successful in almost anything. I know $300 million electricians. I know $300 million plumbers. I know $500 million bricklayers. I know $200 million football players. I know $200 million basketball players. I know the best of the best in every field. Violinist, piano player, lawn cutter. If you are passionate about cutting lawn, you are focused on serving the clients that you cut lawn for, and you are hardworking and dedicated, there is absolutely nothing that can stop you. You can become the greatest lawn cutting company, period, full stop. It doesn't matter if you're a PhD. It doesn't matter if you're a high school dropout. It doesn't matter if you're a former person who's been incarcerated. It doesn't matter if you've got your MBA. It doesn't matter if you're an astrophysicist. If you're fucking lazy, unless your family has fuck you money, where like slave trade money got willed down, and now all of a sudden, or alcohol trade money got willed down and willed down, or whatever, and your family's just got several hundreds of millions or several billions of dollars where they have, you can bullshit your way through life. But most successful entrepreneurs are self-made. And the key to that is an unrelenting drive and dedication to be the best in whatever you do. So if you're a ball player and you think like Kobe Bryant, there's no stopping you. Right. If you're a bricklayer and you think like Kobe Bryant, there's no stopping you. Tilers, like guys who tile floors, you can make an honest living just being a tiler. There's nothing wrong with that. But if you want to be a billionaire selling tile, it's possible. Hard work.
So it seems like mentality is a big thing for you, and having that mindset, like Mamba mentality. You referenced Kobe, who I love as well. So for you, I want to ask you, like, how did you develop your mindset? How did you develop this relentlessness about you? Was this just something that you had to develop, or would you say that's something that you just kind of had?
Um, I don't want to be preachy or soapboxy or whatever, but um, at the time that I was broker slash branch manager in the brokerage industry, I was the only black branch manager from St. John, Newfoundland, all the way over to Vancouver Island. One.
Mm.
I was in a club of one.
Mm.
One of my first jobs as a branch manager from one of the largest firms in this country was to host the rookie dinner. And it's a black tie tuxedo event. And I don't know why, but I know why. And it was an innocent mistake. But people did not assume that I was an executive at the event.
Mm.
People did not assume I was a rookie being inculcated into the culture at that event.
Mm-hmm.
Several people assumed I was the waiter. It wasn't evil. It wasn't people malicious. It was just the cultural stereotype of someone who looks like me. I had to be serving tables.
Right.
Now, there's plenty of people who have served tables and have provided for their family, and I have a ton of respect for them. It's it's honest, hard work. I'm not knocking that. It's just people could not accept that I was one of the people hosting the event, as opposed to being staff at that event.
Yeah.
You can have two responses to situations like that happen to you over and over again in your life. You can quit. You can cry. You can make excuses as to why you are never going to be able to lead the life you want to lead because of the obstacles and the mindset and the perception that society has of you. Or you can say, the worst thing that's going to happen to me is you're going to deny me my rightful place today. That doesn't mean you're going to stop me tomorrow. And you may very well stop me tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
But what about the next day? And the next day? And the next day?
Yeah.
And what that spirit was developed over time.
Got it.
And so, as the only black cultivator in this country, you could start out St. John, Newfoundland, and go all the way over to Vancouver Island.
Yeah.
In the LP market, it's the same drive, it's the same spirit, it's the same, you know what? I don't care what obstacles I face. I'm going to find a way to fight through it and keep going.
Right.
And to be honest, that's the spirit that every single entrepreneur I know has.
Yeah.
I just happen to be black.
That's that's powerful, man. So let's kind of switch gears to Kronic a little bit. I mean, I don't know how many LPs there are right now in Canada, but there's a lot.
Yes.
So what's different about Kronic? Like, I know that we just did the whole tour, but tell the people a little bit about Kronic and what makes you guys unique and what makes you guys different than the rest of the market and everybody else that's in the space right now.
Well, number one, a lot of people talk about being a legacy market grower. and having legacy market experience and wanting legacy market weed. And that is what Kronic Relief is. We are authentic legacy market growers, period, full stop. There was never a situation where you could say, okay, we're good at this and we're going to sell something that we're not good at, so that people are going to come back and say, what the fuck is this? So anything we grow, we are really, really good at. That's just how it works. We don't grow bad weed, period. The guy in charge of it is the guy you're talking to. So there's no, oh well, I didn't know. I'm the CEO. I'm here to bring you a good balance sheet, and I'm here to make sure that the quarter-to-quarter return on equity is great for our stakeholders. But I really don't know what my business is. This is my business, and it is my business. And what that means is if there's a problem, the buck stops right here. The same guy's talking to you is the same guy who's growing the stuff. And that is a huge difference. I'm not a CEO of a cannabis company. I'm a cannabis CEO.
Love it.
So from me, my drive, my will, my passion, any of the products that we bring out, I co-sign. Like I curate. It's like it's in my head. It's everything to me. It means everything to me. And I spend as much time talking to people about stuff they're not happy as I do talking to people about stuff that they are happy.
Right.
Because if you're not happy about something I do, I want to make it better.
So I know this question gets brought up a lot and it's kind of controversial, but I want to get your opinion on it. Do you think that it's important for a CEO in the cannabis space or an executive or someone in this space to also be a consumer? Do you think that that's important and required?
No. They have to love the business. They have to love the product. I am not a big consumer of cannabis. I do have celebratory experiences. I do.
Yeah.
I should reel that back. I am a huge consumer of my topicals. Okay. Because I played a lot of sports. I as a very aggressive physical person, a lot of body checks, a lot of tackles, a lot of, rear naked chokes, a lot of shameless, gratuitous violence. But it catches up to you.
Yeah.
You gotta bath bombs, topicals, have really given me a new lease on life, especially with how cold our winters are. So I am a big cannabis user. I am not a big cannabis inhaler. And I'm not a big cannabis edibles person. However, CBD edibles, sometimes I'm just a little wired. And I find that an ingestible that's CBD based, even if it's got like a 2% THC or something like that, I'm not really fussy, but that I find that really kind of calms, lets me think clearly. But by and large, it's not that I'm against getting high. I'm just such a type A personality that I don't like to relax. I'm like, a vacation for me is 3 days, because on the fourth day, I'm losing my mind. I'm day 5, I'm like, okay, what the fuck? Like, what are we doing? Like,
I got things to do.
I got
Yeah.
things to do. Like, I'm just like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
So, but you know, my favorite product to consume is our authentic blend, and that's because it's our strongest product. And so for me to be able to just take 1 or 2 pulls, and then I'm like, yeah, like you know, I'm good for another 4 hours, right? Because I'm not a daily consumer. But like I live with my plants. I literally live with them. I talk to them. I spend so much time with them. I think about them. I think like my sensory experience, you know, by smell, I know what strain it is. By touch, I know what strain it is. By looking, I know what strain it is. But overall, I know what I'm trying to deliver to our consumer. I know what my retail partner needs out of me to be successful. Sometimes in the infancy of our business, I know more in certain instances what my retail partners need to be selling their consumers than they do, because I've just had that much more experience in a transactional environment. But what I'm trying to say is that Michael Jackson rarely wrote his own songs. You know, I freestyle rap is different than rapping for entertainment. To me, I don't care who writes their own raps, as long as they do a great job and they entertain the public and they bring an amazing show. That's a very different industry than being a battle rapper and freestyling.
Yeah, different
okay,
skills.
you gotta. That's that. Stop it. Like, I don't care if Whitney Houston wrote her songs. I'm there to be entertained and enjoy.
Right.
So I don't care if a cannabis CEO is a big time consumer, but they have to have immersed themselves in the culture.
Yep.
And they have to have a deep understanding of what they're trying to produce. Failure to do that, then I think the lack of effort by some is disingenuous. I don't have a lot of respect for that, but
having some respect for the plant and
Yes.
respect for the culture.
yes, because one of my business partners is not a grower, and he's someone I respect more than anybody in this business.
Right.
He has delivered consistently an amazing product at the right price for consumers, and you know, to me, Cyrus at the Loud Plug is a beast.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think you can ask for a more dedicated CEO to the public, to getting the consumer what they deserve than that man.
Right.
Right.
Right. Yeah, that's another OG in the game. Right?
Yeah. So, like, to me, like, I don't get fixated on titles. I don't get fixated on roles. I get fixated on authenticity to the business.
So, you know, I also understand that, like, in this industry, relationships is very important, right? Whether it's between you and the OCS, or you and retailers, and you and other partners. What's one advice you give to someone in fostering and creating good partnerships in business, and how important is relationships in your role as a CEO and as an entrepreneur?
You are what you say you are. And if you're not, it's going to catch up to you. So if you say we're a legacy market grow and we grow our own wheat, you can fool them once,
Yeah.
you can fool them twice,
Mhm.
3 times.
Right.
So what I found is my most important metrics to my operations guy. When I say to him, I expect 100% on time, 100% error free,
Mhm.
and 100% success. These are metrics that the OCS measures and a lot of our other partners.
Mhm.
I don't want to hear that the OCS ordered 1,800 units and we delivered 1,656.
Right.
I'm having like a mental breakdown.
Right.
Like it's just unacceptable.
Mm.
My word is my bond. So if I say I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it. When I talk to my national sales director, Ebby, she's one of the best of the best. Like she's one of the best of the best.
Mm.
If you say you're going to do something, you're representing me.
Your word is your bond.
So if you promise them 12 pre-roll cases for their blah, 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 make sure the paperwork is right, make sure the compliance department's on side, make sure all the bells and whistles, but no excuses. Make sure that you deliver. Because what happens is, if you don't deliver to the OCS, they don't want to do business with you. If you don't deliver to your dispensary partners, they don't want to do business with you. So they may really love your razzle dazzle kush, but if it's never there when you said it's going to be there, and if it's never always the same quality that you said it would be, you're not going to last long.
Keeping your word and being who you say you are.
It's everything.
Yeah.
So you can come see me 48 hours before this. Knock on the door, and I'm going to give you the same fucking tour.
Right. Love it.
There's no NDAs because I got nothing to hide.
Mm.
Any grower is welcome to come here, and if they want to copy me, go ahead. I don't care. If they want to criticize me, go ahead. I don't care. If they want to teach me something and they have something to offer, I'm there to learn.
Right.
But being true to your word is everything. And so I when we launched the after hours, my point was, why does discount cannabis have to be shit? I don't understand.
Right.
And that's what I'm talking about, these CEOs, right? Why does discount cannabis have to be shit? Have you seen a discount car? It's amazing.
Yeah.
Have you driven like a Hyundai Elantra?
Reliable
they're stylish. They have
they break down less than the expensive cars.
Yep. No, like seriously,
yeah.
like show me. It's not like when I was growing up where like discount clothes, you were punished, like you were wondering what you did before God for these clothes to be on your back.
Right.
But I don't care if it's George. I don't care if it's the one at the Loblaws brand there. I don't care if it's any of those brands. Clothes look good.
Yeah.
Right? And and nobody's family is being disrespected in those lower priced clothing. I don't care if it's Forever 21. I don't care if it's H&M. I don't care.
Yeah.
Those, you look good when you leave those stores, even if you didn't spend a tremendous amount of money. And for me, I came to after hours as low cost shouldn't be disgusting.
Mm.
And most of the low cost is disgusting. And that's why
You change the game.
I've come to change the game in that space.
Let's get it. I love it. I love it. Okay, so so I got two more for you. So going into 2025,
Yes.
state of the market right now, what are you most excited about going to 2025? And is there anything that's concerning to you?
This is a big one. $2025. I am excited and I hopefully believe that the war of attrition as a cultivator will start to come to an end. Survival should not be considered thriving.
Right.
It's a weird thing when people
Right.
compliment me and say, "Oh my God, I can't believe you guys are still here." Like nobody says, "Wow, we're so proud of you. This is so great. You must be doing so well," because they know we're not doing well. Nobody's doing well.
Yeah.
Even the people who are doing well, they're not doing well. they're not doing
Yeah.
because that
Yeah.
whole sense of why didn't I open a McDonald's
Right.
is pervasive. Like everybody's just like, what the did I do to myself?
Right.
I'm cautiously optimistic that the unfortunate misfortune of so many alongside me and before me
Yeah.
may have reached its peak
Mm.
sometime soon, and those of us that are left should have a better opportunity to thrive instead of survive.
Love it. Yeah.
My concern, it's a double-edged sword.
Right. Yeah.
Is I love dealing with the corporate stores, right? Because corporations are obligated to make money. That's like the first goal.
Yeah.
Like, okay, how are we going to make money?
Yeah.
Whereas a lot of the independents have kind of like a more altruistic version of why they entered cannabis.
Yeah.
And so, yes, they're now starting to say, holy shit, I got to make money. Otherwise, like, all my money that I've invested is gone, right? But, and I'm generalizing here, you'll find that, corporate relationships are more aligned in terms of wanting financial success. They're more on that tip. Okay.
Yeah.
And I'm not in any way disrespecting independence. I'm just saying, like, it's hard. Like, corporate stores understand, like, when I say my monthly expenses are $300,000 a month, right? Sometimes I find the independent doesn't yet understand the numbers that are required for success.
Right.
So, but with that, what we're seeing is that more and more independents are going out of business or being acquired by corporate stores.
Yeah.
So it's a double-edged sword, because my worry, but also my optimism, it's the same
Yeah.
thing. Is it looks like we're on a path to maybe 7 dispensary chains,
Sure.
right?
Right.
And only independents in a few areas,
Will be. Yeah.
right? Like
Yeah.
you have the great Wasaga Beach location, you have the great, you have the one Kensington Market historical, you know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like, so if you have like these unique spots, there's an opportunity for you to do well.
Yeah.
Right? But going head to head with big chains as an independent,
It's hard.
it looks like those days are becoming more and more numbered.
Yeah.
Which, if you are favored and you know how to work with those partners, it's a great thing.
Mm-hmm.
But not all of us can be favored all the time, and a bad night, a bad speech, a
Mhm.
bad relationship. Does that mean that
Right.
you're in deep shit because 4 or 5 people in the country don't like you anymore?
Right.
So my fear is also it's a good
Thing and it could.
is that that's one of the things that's to be monitored, because
Yeah.
as power centralizes,
It can go either way.
it can go either way. And so
Okay.
that's what I'm cautious about in
Yeah.
2025. But it's also, some things that I'm excited about in 2025.
Right on. All right, so we'll finish up with this one, man. If you could kind of go back in time and give yourself one piece of advice to your 20-year-old self, now sitting as the founder, CEO of Kronic Relief, and where things are right now, what would you say to yourself?
I'm a warrior. Think carefully before you draw your sword. I believe there's a reason why they don't like young presidents of the United States. And it's because testosterone sometimes overshadows common sense. And there's a few decisions that I made in anger that I could have had better outcomes if I had taken a deep breath,
Sleep on it for a night.
slept on it, and then made my decision. I still may have fought, but maybe I would have fought differently.
Right.
And so the battle-tested warrior that I am has made me who and what I am today, and I am thankful for who I am and who I've become. I'm thankful for the parents that I had. I'm thankful for so many things.
Yeah.
But
It's true.
wisdom
Can only be acquired through time. And one thing that a mentor of mine told me too, which I loved, was you always want to be able to come back to the table,
Yeah.
no matter what. We're young, we get passionate, and sometimes we want to just
burn the table.
burn the table. Thank you so much, man. This was great conversation. I love it.
Respect, brother.
Yes, man. Thank you.
Thank you.
That was good. That was awesome, bro.
Thanks.